tight race in the NFC North. Chicago Bears are currently in the division lead, but the Packers still have the highest odds to win the division at 54%. According to ESPN Analytics, the Bears are not too far behind, 40% chance to grab that NFC North title, and that number jumps to 76% if the Bears beat the Packers on Saturday night. So that is their second meeting between the two teams in 13 days. It's kind of nice when you get to see your previous opponent, you get to work off that game plan, then you get them right away. As you take a look at this team, without Micah Parsons, Jeff, and as injured as they are, can Jordan Love do enough to keep this team as a Super Bowl contender?
I don't think so. I mean, Jordan Love has played fantastic football. I called him out after that Monday night game or Sunday night game, whatever it was, and but he has played extremely well throughout the rest of the season. You brought Micah Parsons in on purpose before the season. You knew you needed something, and he has provided that. Let me just put perspective. He has 64 QB pressures on the season. The next highest on the Packers is Rashawn Gary, who has 28. That is a massive loss, right? And then you have two others that have 15. So think about this. When you're a defensive player and you have a guy like Micah Parsons, he makes everybody around him better because he's going to take the double teams. The offensive line is going to slide to him. If you're a DB and you know no one's shipping on that side, you can jump coverage, you can play tighter because you know the ball has to come out at a different time. All the different things that he provided for this defense are now gone. And he is a quarterback on defense that has been lost. That's how big of an injury Micah Parsons is. So I don't want this to come off as just a complete, Love like bash. It's not just about Love. It's Kraft being gone, Wyatt being gone, Watson banged up. Like all the different pieces of part. It feels a lot to me like the Detroit Lions last year where they were kind of loaded to bear and then all of a sudden these injuries took their toll on them. That's kind of what this feels like to me. And the Micah Parsons throws it over the edge. He's just too good of a player to replace, in my opinion, on defense.
That graphic is something.
It's brutal.
4 players injured on Sunday, Canty.
Yeah, not great. And here's the thing. It only exacerbates the Devontae Wyatt absence, right? He's out for the rest of the season. So you're talking about your two best players on your defensive line being out for the rest of the year. That's hard for anybody to overcome. Yeah. But the reality of the situation is this. If you believe in the quarterback and the head coach, then Green Bay has enough to be able to get it done. They were a top 5 defense last year without Micah Parsons. There are still plenty of good players on that defense. You got Edrin Cooper. You got Rashawn Gary. You got Lucas Van Ness. You got Xavier McKinney. You got enough to be able to get it done on the defensive side of the ball. Now, Micah Parsons being out puts a lot more pressure on Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur in terms of being able to mitigate that loss. And that means that your offense being able to dictate the complexion of the game, that offense making sure that defense more often than not plays with leads, Josh Jacobs in that running game being able to control time of possession, it puts a lot more pressure on Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur. It becomes a referendum on this head coach quarterback tandem moving forward. And for such a consequential offseason in which they have to determine the future of the general manager and the head coach long-term in Green Bay, I think what this season ends up looking like, the end of the regular season on into the playoffs, will determine the trajectory of what we think the Packers to be long-term.
Well, here's the deal. The question is, can Love pull us off? Can he carry the Packers to the Super Bowl without Parsons? He can because his physical talent says he can. But we don't believe it. Me, myself, Jeff Saturday, I don't think you believe it, CC. You know they can because their talent says that they can. But their level of production, I don't see that happening. Y'all accurately pointed out why it's out. Obviously, that exacerbates Micah Parsons being out because you know it's going to have a tremendous effect. Jeff, I was glad you brought up the gap in terms of pressures between Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary because it's a huge, huge discrepancy. I think it's like 36, there's a 36 point difference for crying out loud in terms of the amount of pressures, one compared to the other. It's the largest gap for the 1-2 punch in the National Football League.
That's right.
We got to take that into consideration. We also got to take into consideration that with Micah Parsons on the field, Rashawn Gary, all right, has 7.5 sacks. That's true. Here's the problem. He had that about 2 months ago. Right. He ain't had a sack since, okay? Right. And the pressures haven't been that great. So now you've got a problem because you have a situation where your defense may not break, but it's going to bend quite often, which is going to put Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love in a position where they got to come to the rescue because the defense ain't there to bail them out by consistently holding defenses or neutralizing defenses, etc. You're going to need your offense to step up to offset the losses of a Wyatt, of a Micah Parsons, and others. And I'm not sure that can happen. Christian Watson, thank goodness, his chest injury is not long-term. He's expected to play against the Chicago Bears on Saturday, so that's good for them as well. And again, all the physical attributes are there for Green Bay to do some damage. Josh Jacobs is a stud. We know that too. But in the end, what I'm saying is the more you ask of Green Bay's offense, the more trouble Jordan Love is in. He'll get you your numbers. He'll make plays. It'll happen. He won't be horrid. That's true. But it's about moments. And when you need him to step up and deliver the goods, I'm going to defer to Sunday. I know it was against Denver's defense. I know they had 55 sacks coming into the game. They finished with 3 on the evening. They had 58 sacks, leading everybody by a mile in that category. But damn, y'all, 1st and 10, final drive, 1 minute and 3 left, and you don't get 1 completion?
Right.
Yeah.
1?
Right.
1? I mean, I can see if you drive down the field, but you came up short.
Right.
No, that's not happened. 1st down, 2nd down, 3rd down, 4th down. The only thing that was different from them, an incomplete pass, is that they had, a false start penalty for 5 yards. That's about it. I mean, you just looking at them like, do something, y'all, and they couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Couldn't do anything.
You bring up a point, Stephen A. You said you, Canty, and Jeff, no one probably believes that Jordan Love can be the guy to do this. Why is that? Is it the interceptions? I mean, before these last 2 games, his last interception had a 6-week gap. It was that Carolina game.
Right.
2 thrown against Denver. Jeff, what is it about Jordan Love that gives you that pause that he can be that guy?
I think what Stephen A. said is probably is the moments, right? Like the moments where you have to have it. You're going to face defenses like this in the playoffs. That's the difference. The difference is whether you're playing the Rams, the Seahawks, Tampa, even, or Carolina. When you have to go play against good defenses that don't give up explosive plays, he throws 2 picks, right? Like Stephen A. said, the last drive. It feels like in the moment he doesn't grab the thing and carry you. He hasn't done that yet. Now he had a playoff win early in his career. The last 2 he hasn't done. That's really how we define QBs. And I think until he shows it, this game, I'm just telling you right now, Saturday night is a massive game for Jordan Love. A massive game because the Bears, as well as they've played, they have been turnover dependent on defense. You don't turn it over, you should have a shot to win. Can he do that, right? And again, without Micah Parsons, without what they were able to do, and they played a tight one against the Bears 2 weeks ago, and it feels like it's a lifetime ago because it's a different team. But to this point, to me, Jordan Love hasn't taken the league over and been at every moment, I'm going to Josh Allen this thing, right? And that's when you want to be compared in those categories of carrying teams, and I'm taking away all the tops because they've won Super Bowls or been there, but you look at it, that's what you're expecting.
I'm just going to put it out there because you touched on it with the playoff win against the Dallas Cowboys back in 2023. That was the youngest team to win a road playoff game in a half century in the NFL.
Yeah.
So, that's not nothing.
Right.
Based on the current standings, everybody not named the LA Rams is going to potentially have to go on the road in order to get to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. There's only one other quarterback not named Matt Stafford in the NFC that has done that. And that is Baker Mayfield with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they may not get in.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So you got to give Jordan Love a little bit of the benefit of the doubt when it comes to potentially being able to carry this Packers team to the Super Bowl, given the landscape of the conference.
No, I ain't got to begin benefit. I don't have to do that. Listen, the one game that he played lights out in the postseason was against the Dallas Cowboys. Who doesn't show up against the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs? We know that's. You got a problem. It gets resolved right there. I understand you wearing your cowboy colors, CC. You don't like that I said that, but you'll get over it. Here's the deal, my man. At the end of the day, when you look at Jordan Love, check this out. The last 2 times we've seen him in a playoff game, he struggled against San Francisco a little bit. I'm talking about as the game waned, he couldn't deliver the goods. And then against the Philadelphia Eagles last year, obviously it was disastrous. No touchdowns and 3 interceptions. We get that part. So you're looking for him to step up and show you, you know what, that he can deliver in those moments. You know he has the physical skills. The brother's a big-time player, no doubt about that. But you're looking for those moments where he rises to the occasions and reminds you, there's levels to this, and he's on that level. And that's not what you're necessarily seeing when it comes to those big moments, whether it be in the regular season or the playoffs. And that's what we're waiting for from him.
It's crazy how small the margin of error is in the NFC. I mean, the Bears, they lost in that Green Bay game. They dropped to the 7 seed. They win last week. They go to 2. Obviously, crazier things can happen. And the Packers have a 54% chance to win the NFC North. That drops to 14% if they lose to the Bears on Saturday. All right, keep it here because coming up next, the Patriots are in real danger of losing the AFC East title to the Bills. Who thinks that here, and which of these teams needs it more?